So guys, all set?
Hi,
Hey!
hi, hi, hi. How are
Hi,
you?
Sumeet. Are you ready with your coffee?
Oh, yes, I am. One second. I just want to set the camera
Yes.
right.
Sumeet, you
Okay.
can hear me
Yeah.
fine. The audio is fine. Just let's do a
Yeah.
quick check. The audio is
Yeah. Yeah.
perfect.
The audio is fine. Yeah.
All right. All right. So guys, we
All right.
already have the views which are increasing. Cheers to that. And all set for coffee time with Griha. So let's begin, Sumeet. पहले तो tell me what are you really doing? इतने दिनों का lockdown, everyone is in quarantine. क्या चल रहा है?
Yeah. I'll tell you, the first half of the quarantine went in Jhadu, Pocha, and Bartan. And
Good
because,
workout.
yeah, that was my workout. We couldn't understand and schedule our day, you know, because that was consuming a lot of time. But now we've sort of managed to, make some sort of schedule where we can do other things as well.
Right.
So yeah, I'm working on a couple of scripts. So I have a lot of writing work to do that I do. And then because I'm writing, then there are a lot of these conference calls that we do
Yeah. Of course.
for our
Everyone's
script
working from
meetings.
home. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But the most important news right now that everybody has been tripping on is the you guys are all set to welcome a new permanent roommate. You guys are expecting.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
guys
Thank you
shared
so
the
much.
news on social media. That's very brilliant news
Yes.
for you and Ekta. So many congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But that also brings me to the next question, Sumit, because that coronavirus scare is upon us. ETA has to be very, very particular. Did it actually
Yeah.
let the paranoia set in as like the would-be parents? Because you have to be very, very particular about where is she, how is she keeping her health in check, and so that nobody is really entering the house. You guys are not going out. What is it that you guys are doing to do all that?
I mean, she's generally very, very prepared about these things. I would say she's very careful about, she's way more organized than I am in these matters. But yeah, with the quarantine and with coronavirus scare and all of that, the worry has only increased and our caution is also increased. So,
Right.
like we're not allowing nobody's coming and hanging with us or meeting with us. We have a lot of friends who stay like very close by, like people stay right next to my building. But they've themselves, said that it's not, we probably avoid coming and meeting you guys for now because it's safer like that. So
Okay.
yeah, we are following those norms. And बुरे में अच्छा ये है कि I am free, I am at home all the time, so I am getting to spend a lot of time with her,
Yeah.
which generally I don't.
Right. So what is it? What is it? And how are you pampering your wife these days? Now that 24/7 you guys are spending ample amount of time with one another. और ये एक बहुत
Yeah,
अच्छा phase है सुमीत ये जल्दी वापस नहीं आएगा. I mean, people
yeah,
also tend to crib fight because you're seeing like I'm married and I tend to have that little note joke with my own husband कि 24 घंटे कैसे झेलूं. But then you will miss this when you again start going to work and this work from home
yes,
phase is over. So what is
yes,
it like
yes.
for you guys?
Yeah, it's the same. It's not very easy to spend 24 hours with me for many days. I'm not that entertaining, so
Seriously, people will
I
beg to
can.
differ.
So yeah, but we've done fine so far. We've watched a lot of films together. We've watched a bunch of series together, which we wanted to watch, and
Right.
thankfully we got to do this together. Otherwise, I'm doing it in my own time, and she does it in her own time.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, we are in a way thankful that we got to spend all this time here. Also, I also feel that people like me, you, and a lot of my friends, we are privileged. We are privileged that we have our houses, we have funds to support ourselves
No,
and all of that
absolutely.
in this time because there are a lot of people who are really suffering right now, and this is the time to be grateful.
Correct.
This is the best time to have some sort of gratitude for whatever God has given you, and
Correct.
then you'll be able to think beyond yourself and maybe try and help someone if you can.
Oh, absolutely. And since you mentioned a lot of shows that you guys have wanted to watch together, that you guys are watching together now, I hope nothing dark. What are you guys seeing? Any recommendations? Because I'm getting these messages about recos to watch other than Permanent Roommate that you can hear, the audio
Yeah.
stories that you can hear. You have to talk about
Yes.
that, but first tell me about the
Yeah.
recommendations and the shows that you guys are watching.
We saw a bunch of Indian shows that we hadn't seen. We
Huh.
didn't find time to watch. We saw Family Man. We saw Inside Edge.
Okay.
We saw what else did we see? We saw a bunch of films. I think we just finished watching Hindi medium. Then I hadn't seen Chichore, so we saw that.
Acha.
A bunch
Okay.
of things.
Right.
Then I also have my own time where I watch other shows, which
Right.
are probably not recommended for her. I saw this show called Handmaid's Tale on
Right.
Amazon. It's
Of
quite
course.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't seen Peaky Blinders, so I finished. I'm on the verge of finishing that.
Hmm.
Uh, then I saw a bunch of suspense thriller films. So yeah, yeah,
Okay.
watching a lot.
And since I mentioned permanent roommate, this is something, I would say ingenious that you guys actually thought about doing because we already saw season two. But,
Yeah,
it takes a brilliant mind to actually think कि अच्छा permanent roommates बनने से पहले और उसके बाद उसके बीच में क्या हुआ, and you are actually taking that phase. So it's like a mid sequel sort of a thing that you guys are
yeah,
starting, but not the visual part of it. It's only audio. You get to hear it on Audible Suno. So that
yeah,
is something that has not happened. So another novel concept. Like I mentioned in my intro to you that you've been the poster boy of sort of Indian web series space with permanent roommates and tripling and
yeah.
other shows. Now you're doing this. So this is another novelty that is actually coming in and people will get to hear it. So how did that come about?
I mean, it was another chance thing, you know. Audible Suno has been developing a lot of original content, uh, and they've come up with some brilliant shows. And they, I think, got in touch with the people at TVF and asked us, we'd like to make a season of Permanent Roommates on Audible. And we all of us got really excited because we didn't think of it. That's not what you think about. So yeah, and thanks to the writing team at TVF, they wrote some brilliant episodes. Because initially I was also apprehensive because Bisupati Sarkar was busy writing something else, so he won't be able to give out time to write audible and audio episodes. But the writing team has done a fantastic job. We read the episodes, we tripped on them, and it was a lot of fun recording those episodes because
Right,
suddenly you didn't have any of the regular hiccups
right,
when you're about to do a scene. When you're shooting something, you have to look at your makeup, location, camera, blah blah blah. This is just like doing a reading, or this was like doing theater where you didn't have to worry about nothing. You just
right.
had to worry about the text and deliver your lines in the best possible way.
Right.
So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
While I go to my next question, which is actually taking a cue from your answer, I just got to see and read those messages. Somebody is going ahead saying, Baba, you're beautiful. That's the line that stuck with you. Somebody just made a comment, will you get Chitwan for babysitting? That is the kind of connect that people have with your characters, be it in
Yeah,
tripling or in permanent roommate. All the
yeah,
love flowing. Hi, Siddha, thank you so much. So these guys are actually going ahead and, the people were waiting for it. What I want to ask you with this audible Suno concept, an actor is always very, very, unsure about the way he's presenting himself, his looks and everything. You are doing away with all of that with this big leap, taking permanent roommates through an audible audio story to people. So,
yeah,
don't you think, unless and until, on the one hand, it is like reading a book, reading an audio book where you
yes,
leave it to people's imagination, let the imagination go wild, they can cook up their own little imagination of, Mikesh in their own head. But at the same time, they don't get to see you. I mean, what they've always loved you, the expressions and everything. So that's something
yeah.
which do you think it'll be a lack or this is a bold step? Because we have seen people like an Amitabh Bachchan has turned narrator for a lot of films like a Shatranj Ke
Yeah.
Khiladi or a Bawarchi. Very recently, Amr Khan did it for Dil Dhadakne Do. So the actors have done that too.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a very popular thing in the West. People do it all the time. It's not like we don't get to see actors very often. I'm doing this live with you. I'm on Instagram. You're on so many social media apps. So it's not like people don't remember you, or they've lost connect with you anyways. But this is a new form of entertainment where you don't have to see it because you already know how people look, and it's all in your imagination. And things are way funnier in your imagination than they actually are in life. A lot of times, when you're repeating a story or when you're telling, वो कोई किस्सा आप सुना रहे होते हो, you realize that when you are narrating it, it's way funnier than when it actually happened. So in that sense, I really enjoyed, I really enjoy listening to a lot of audio books and
Right.
audio series. So I thought it'd be a great experience for everyone.
So when I was interviewing these other actors, what people actually take back, and a lot of it's like it's not just an Amitabh Bachchan space anymore, is what I want to get at, Sumeet, because people remember you for your voice, the character, the characterization. So that's why this is a very novel concept, and that's why the connect part of it. But like you mentioned,
Yes.
that you were not conscious about what you're wearing, how your hair is looking, whether the makeup is in place or not. So
Yeah.
that gave you extra, because when we as journalists interview actors over the phone, that's a very different and a very uninhibited chat altogether. But when that same
Yes.
thing happens
Yes.
on camera, things tend to change a little.
Things tend
So
to
do you
change.
think,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so that will be an edge, don't you think, with permanent roommates on audio?
Yeah, I mean, there was a huge thing, and I'm way more relaxed when I know that I'm not being shot and everything. Uh, but because a large part of of my acting career has gone into theater, where
Right.
the way you're looking, or if you're looking pretty, is the least of your concern.
Correct.
Everything is about text, everything is about performance, everything is about the craft. So I've spent so much time doing that it took me a while to, start focusing on appearance. I had to make conscious decision to, pay attention on the way I look and my appearance, because it's important in our field. But yeah, shooting or recording for these episodes was a welcome change. It was like going back to theater, where I could just forget about how I'm looking or what people would think, and I could just improvise and have fun with the script.
Sumeet, I was actually going through your earlier interviews, and one thing that you keep saying, that मुझे 14 साल लगे लोगों को मुझे recognize करने में. Now, when you look back at those 14 years, do you feel vindicated? Do you feel okay, or do you feel okay, fine? Acha, now I've arrived, and do you actually see those years as a big, big learning experience? What is the feeling like?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't feel vindicated in any sense. It wasn't uh, out of the whatever 14, 15 years. Half the times I didn't even think about being famous. I was too busy doing my own thing, and I didn't really focus on, am I becoming famous? Do people recognize me and all of that? These questions started appearing in my head only once people started recognizing me for whatever little bit I was doing. Uh, and then, yeah, now that people know me and all, it mainly reoccurs in my head when people ask me about it. Or when people have no idea, when people think that I started my career in 2014, uh, whereas I started it in 2000.
2004. 2000, yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
remember this one show, मैंने लिख के रखा हुआ था, मैंने देखा नहीं था. उसका नाम है वो हुए ना हमारे.
Yes,
डीडी पे
yes.
आता था. And I just saw
Doordarshan.
it on YouTube, and I saw वो zing zang transition वाले जो वो वाले shows
Yes,
होते थे. So you've been part of that
yes,
television. You've been
yes.
part of that web series generation that is so clicking with the Indian audiences, especially the youth.
Yeah.
This is a big leap for an actor to be part of both these phases. Your
Yeah, yeah.
experience from that time to now, if you had to actually go and compare it, what would that be like?
I mean, the way people consume entertainment changes. It changes every 3, 4 years. Like back in the time, the style of acting was very different, and perhaps way before I started, it was even more different. Uh, and as we progressed, less is more. In today's day and age, people don't like it when someone is acting, or or when someone is over the top or expressing a lot. People appreciate it when we don't express. It's more internal.
Right.
So because they like it when they can invest in someone's head and in a character's psyche. uh, and it shows in so many ways. Like the reason that
Hmm.
Instagram is so famous, or people are following so many bloggers, because they are interested in the real stuff. They want to see the real thing. There's a reason why so many stories based on real life characters are doing well, because the moment people think that ye real hai, they want to watch it. The moment
Hmm.
people think that it is completely fictitious, the interest or the engagement with the viewer becomes a little less, especially with the younger
Hmm.
audience, with
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
the millennials, or with our generation, I would say.
Hmm.
So either it has to be a completely fantastical world, or Lord of the Rings, or Avengers, or one of those things where you're not even expecting anything real. You're
Hmm. Hmm.
expecting extraordinary stuff,
Hmm.
or you want to see something which is very believable. You know, so there's a clear distinction in the way we perform, in the way people consume entertainment, and it's been great. It's a great learning curve. Every 3 4 years, you have to start thinking, okay, people are not enjoying what I was doing 4 years back. Maybe I need to, rediscover and rewire myself.
Right. So all your fans are actually commenting on the post as we are taking these questions. You'd like to take the मैंने इतने सारे questions देखे हैं जिसमें से एक चीज बहुत ज्यादा आ रही है, वो है बाबा you're beautiful. That's something that is
Thank you,
going
thank
on
you.
and on. Somebody mentioned your old show रहना है तेरी पलकों की छाँव में. That was also there.
Yes,
There's where you were Karthik. Okay, a
I was
fan of
Karthik.
yours. Yes, who's
Yes,
mentioned this?
I
Vishnu
was.
Sharma has mentioned this.
Yes, I was a very, very deeply clean shaven Karthik with a lot of lip balm. I would shine like a wall. And yeah, I mean, that was actually the first daily soap that I did. First and perhaps the only daily soap that I did. It went on for a good year and a half. And I just want to experience it at that point of time, because before
Right.
that, I wasn't really focusing that much on television or cinema. I was just doing theater. So, but yeah, I mean, contrary to popular belief, I really enjoyed it. I
Right.
enjoyed being on that set, and it was completely not my zone, not my world.
Hmm.
But I just wanted to know what it is all about, because so many people are watching it.
Hmm.
And I especially don't like it when people ban television content, because it's not an easy thing to do. Working in television, there is some fantastic talent on television, and it's easier said than done. It was more of an experiment for me when I joined, when I decided on doing a television show, a full on daily soap, and
Hmm.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot about efficiency when you're shooting. You know,
Hmm.
if you ever get to be on a television set, everyone is really efficient. There is no time for nonsense. There is no time for of whims. You have to
Hmm.
be on the ball. You have to learn your lines. You have to deliver them. So it's quite a learning curve. It's quite a learning curve, and I really appreciate the time that I spend there. Yeah.
Also, one thing that is happening currently with also one thing that is happening currently with actors of your generation, not just actors but everybody in the creative industry, so to speak, is there is a lot of intermingling of art. I mean, a
Yeah.
person who is like a Tigmanshu Dhulia directed Hasil, went on to direct so many films. Then you actually got to see him as an actor in Wasipur.
Yeah.
So you have Farhan Akhtar, who has so many trips up his trade. He has got every there's not one hat that he's not wearing. You have actors turning singers. You are an essayist. You also an actor. You've also directed so many different roles that you juggle with. So that is also happening, which was not there as such or as much back then.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was only there with there were a few people who would multitask back then. But yeah, nowadays, I think everybody's multitasking. Everybody's because also, with the advent of digital, it has just taken the fear out of being able to do what you want to do. Anybody can
Right.
shoot. Anybody can. If we are having a live chat, I can shoot. I can,
Right.
write, direct, and create my own content without worrying about if I know each and everything about doing this. I'll probably learn as I go along. And perhaps everyone who's a legend in their own right may have started from scratch. So yeah, I mean, today's generation is far more experimental in that sense and less fearful, I would say.
All right. All right, Sumit, then now it's time for your fans, as we were mentioning. You can just scroll up to your comments. I just saw one of them.
Yeah,
Baba, if you can take my name once, I'll die in peace. Aquarius there is just having fun with you.
that
There are
is
a
that
lot
is
of.
my dear friend Akash Khurana, my legend, my brother. Akash Khurana and I've learned everything about writing from Akash.
Right.
We co-wrote Tripling together,
Right.
and yeah, he's directed me in so many plays. He's directed the film that I acted in called Hijack. It was great, and yeah, cheers to AK.
Also, this latest post on Instagram. First, tell me how deft are you with Instagram, or are you just getting there, or you are good with it with
I'm s-
Instagram and social media?
I think I'm still sort of not as savvy as a lot of people.
Okay, he's saying water
Uh,
modest. So, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate your social media, social friendliness skills on online?
I would rate a 5 or a 6, I would say, not more than that. Uh,
As
yeah,
in, तो
because
अभी
like
आपने
I
post
hardly
डाली.
go, Hanji.
हाँ हाँ हाँ. No, no, please go on.
Like I hardly go on Facebook these days. I hardly go on Twitter because Twitter is very scary. At the moment I go, there's someone fighting over something. It's
Right.
just too scary to be on Twitter. And
Right.
also, people tend to get their news from Twitter, which is the worst place to get your news from.
Oh,
If you
that's
want to
true.
know
That's
more
true.
about a current issue, it's better to get it from a news website or a less sensational website, I would say. So yeah, in that sense, I'm not like I don't put pictures of my chai and my biscuit and my morning coffee. I can't do that. I have my time. दिन में आधा एक घंटा I can donate to social media hanging or whatever. Otherwise, it's just checking. I don't like to invest that much time on posting.
You know, Sumit, being a media person, I would also like to tell you that, media has changed a lot. Like you mentioned, Twitter, even which shouldn't really be the case, but we as journalists also need to go to Twitter to see a lot of our news stories and just refer it and then cross check it. That's why you have something like an alt news to go ahead and check what is fake from reality. Because there's so much of
Yeah,
fake news doing the rounds that you can't
yeah.
really, have so many
No,
things
and
together. You
also
need to.
also you don't
Yeah.
have to have an opinion on everything, or you don't have to give your opinion on everything. You may have them, but it's not important to share it with the world,
No, that's true.
because you can't know the details of every little thing that is happening around you. But the first instinct is to मैं अभी एक comment डाल देता हूँ, and I'm like, no, I don't need to do that. So every time I comment, I've tried to research as much as I can. If I'm interested in a topic, if something has really affected me, I take my time before I say something in a public domain. And it's important. It's just being responsible. It's not just about being famous or not being famous. It's about generally speaking. You don't want to say something which will hurt someone, or say or put out an opinion which is one-sided or not well researched. You know.
Okay, Ankita
So
Bhushan here is asking another question. She says, we see Instagram content is booming. Consumption of content on Instagram is far more than any other social media platform. Are actors evolving accordingly? What are your views?
yeah, I mean they will have to because stuff on Instagram and TikTok and these portals are really doing well. People are putting out their stuff, and uh, I mean I'm sorry to say I haven't discovered something that I can do regularly on an Instagram or a TikTok because I'm still a little old school, so I like writing a script and reading a script and rehearsing, and I'm still more into that. I can't just like think of something and just immediately record it. I think that's a talent that I don't possess, but I
And
can
also, Sumeet,
appreciate
you
it.
are one of those actors who'd advocate a theater more than a social media any day. I mean, you are one of those, like you said, old school actors who'd still go to his theater days and
Yeah,
reminisce Prithvi Theater,
yeah,
and you have your chai and bun maska there, and
yeah,
talk about the old times and act
yeah.
in front of a live audience.
I mean, for me, that's more fun.
Hmm.
I prefer doing that. I prefer telling a longer and please stay home, stay safe. Do not crowd. Do not send an Insta story.
Okay. And before we go,
Uh, uh, I mean, I'm sorry to say, I haven't, discovered something that I can do regularly on an Instagram or a TikTok, because I'm still a little old school. So I like writing a script and reading a script and rehearsing, and I'm still more into that. I can't just like think of something and just immediately record it. I think that's a talent that I don't possess, but I
and
can
also, Sumeet,
appreciate
you
it.
are one of those actors who'd advocate a theater more than a social media any day. I mean, you are one of those, like you said, old school actors who'd still go to his theater days and
Yeah,
reminisce Prithvi Theater,
yeah,
and you have your chai and bun maska there, and
yeah,
talk about the old times and act
yeah.
in front of a live audience.
I mean, for me, that's more fun.
Hmm.
I prefer doing that. I prefer telling a longer format of story, a more prepared and rehearsed kind of story than an Insta story.
Okay. And before we go, we'll just get some more fan views. Ashok Mehto is saying, "Hello, sir. I just watched your series of Permanent Roommates for the fourth time. Still enjoyed it. Lots of love." You would like to say something to
Thank you so much,
Ashok
Ashok.
here? Okay,
Thank you,
Vikhyat
Ashok. Thank you
saying,
so much.
"How
God bless
was
you.
English Winglish and working with the late Sri Devi ma'am?"
It was great. It was one of my best shooting experiences. Period.
Okay. Tripta Singh, okay, she's my sister, and she says, "Baba, say hi to me. I'm Griha's sister." She's an idiot.
Hi, hi. How are you doing? Hi,
Okay.
everyone. I mean, through this medium, I just want to thank a lot of people who congratulated me and Ekta. Otherwise, it's difficult to reply to each and every comment.
Yeah, a lot of
I
them. Yeah.
try as much as I can, but I just want to thank everyone for their well wishes, and please stay home, stay safe. Do not crowd. Do not hang in a group of more than 4 or 5 people. It's not safe. It's a few days affair, and if you are able to take care of ourselves for a few days and stay
Sumit,
quarantined and
address your
stay
wife. She
disciplined.
says you look handsome.
Thank
See that
you. She's
comment.
in the other room.
Hi,
So yeah,
Ekta.
so just stay safe, I would say.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining me, Sumit. It was lovely chatting with you, and thank you so much. You
Thank you.
guys stay safe, and congratulations once again to you and Ekta.